Greetings, friends, and welcome to Captain Samuel's Ethereal Prose. At the Edge of the World is a collection of short stories by Anglo-Irish writer Lord Dunsany. The stories were written in the early 20th century. The collection was curated and edited by fantasy writer Lin Carter. So, what are the stories about? To be honest, I just finished the book, and I cannot remember the majority of what happens in these stories. And that's because concrete events and a narrative of a story is not the emphasis for Lord Dunsany. What he's focused on is creating a dreamlike, ethereal atmosphere of awe and nostalgia. The emphasis is on graceful, exotic prose that reads more like poetry than a conventional story. They read like myths or passages from spiritual scripture. And the themes fit this. They're all about the death of gods, mortals falling off the earth into fathomless void, the ravages of time, and seeking long-lost loves. The most prominent theme was about how the passage of time cannot be delayed, and the idea that our happiest times are in the past. I enjoyed the stories taken from Dunsany's early books, Time and the Gods and the Sword of Welleran, because they had a bit more narrative cohesion and were briefer, but as the book went on and Lin Carter pulled from Lord Dunsany's later works, the stories got a lot longer and felt more meandering, and they didn't keep my interest. And while they were beautiful, they all started to feel a bit samey. They felt a bit like Grandpa Simpson's So I Tied an Onion to My Belt, which was the style at the time, except expressing that in beautiful, eloquent prose. One aspect of the book that I actually appreciated was Lin Carter. I've read some stories by Lin Carter, which have been meh, sneh, but I think he really knocked it out of the park with this collection because before each story, he talked about what was going on in Dunsany's life at the time the story was written and how Dunsany's work changed over time. So I thought Lin Carter did a good job about that. So I think Lord Dunsany's work is kind of like a rich cheesecake. You wouldn't want to sit down and eat the whole cheesecake at once because that would be overwhelming. But if you have a slice of cheesecake once in a while, it's a real treat. So I do recommend At the Edge of the World, but I don't really recommend sitting down and just reading it from cover to cover. I would say maybe read one story a week. Really just put your mind in kind of a groovy vibe to sit down and read these mythical, ethereal, dreamlike tales and really savor it and enjoy it. And then don't pick the book up again for, another week and then read one more story. Really take your time and savor it. So with that in mind, I do recommend it and give it 4 out of 5 stars. And before I go, it's one thing to tell you that the prose is beautiful and eloquent. It's another to read your passage. So I hope you'll just stick with me here at the end here while I read you a quick bit of Lord Dunsany. And what's going on here is this is some inexperienced thieves traveling with a master thief, and the inexperienced thieves are kind of making noise and giving everybody away. And the way that the master thief kind of handles that with equanimity is just beautiful. Though Slith had an experience of 20 years of theft, yet he said little. Only if one of the others made a stone roll with his foot, or, later on in the forest, if one of them stepped on a twig, he whispered sharply to them always the same words.